Undoubtedly, if there are two biggest challenges for Modi government 2.0, it is development and jobs. And perhaps to tackle both these issues, newly constituted cabinet committees will be looking into the matter. Now, cabinet committees have always been there. There are about 8 to 10 of them. But this time around, 2 of them have been reconstituted, and this is what they are calling it. One is the Cabinet Committee on Employment and Skill Development, and the other one is now called on Investment and Growth. Both of them actually have the Prime Minister and the Home Minister, Amit Shah, at the helm of affairs, and they will be looking into the matter. They also have the relevant portfolios and cabinet ministers as part of that committee. It is going to be a 5-member committee when it comes to the one on investment and growth, and 10-member committee when it comes to employment and skill development. Also, these committees, whose names have been released this morning by the government, have special invitees, which include Smriti Irani, the Minister Gadkari as well, amongst other people. All right, so that is what is the big focus today. And Himanshu with us for more on this. Himanshu, we've spoken about the economic growth slowing down. It's the worst in 5 years. Perhaps one of the major criticism for the Narendra Modi government in the previous tenure was that growth and economy and jobs were the biggest problem. This time around, he understands with a emboldened mandate, he needs to deliver. Perhaps the reason why he's constituted these committees. Tell us, what exactly is the functioning of these committees and how does this impact policy?
Well, the cabinet committees are set up by the Prime Minister. They include important cabinet ministers who are in charge of key ministries where most of the action normally takes place with regard to the economy, if you're talking about the Cabinet Committee on Growth and Investment. And that, of course, includes very key ministers who will have to play a very significant role if the growth sentiment has to be revived. And that is why Prime Minister has specially constituted these 2 committees, which he himself will be directly heading. See, normally the convention has been the Prime Minister's set up group of ministers who deliberate on different issues. They come up with proposals and which are then put before the larger cabinet, and then a decision is taken. But here, since the Prime Minister himself will be heading these committees, it will include all core ministers who are directly in charge of key economic ministries, and these committees will have the power to take direct decisions because it will be headed directly by the Prime Minister. It doesn't need to have a cabinet approval at any stage. So decisions would be faster, and Prime Minister, of course, would know that he has 5-6 key ministers with him, and that will be the core team which will then brainstorm and strategize what are the ways and means available before the government to actually bring the growth sentiment in the economy. And that is why the separate committee, the second committee that has been set up, Cabinet Committee on Employment and Skill Development, includes very key ministers who are in charge of, let's say, Ministry of Skill Development, Ministry of Road Transport and Highways, Ministry of Rural Development. These are very key textiles. These are very key ministries where most of the action with regard to employment and skill development will have to take place. And it will also be headed by the Prime Minister, which essentially means that it will also be empowered to take decisions on behalf of the cabinet. So a small core group of ministers will sit together, brainstorm, and I think the decisions will be faster. And since it will be headed by the Prime Minister, it will have the power to actually implement the decisions it takes, also very significant.